The Pope just married a couple at 30,000 feet. That can't be accurate, can it? Today I'm going to talk about the burden of fake news and what we can do to stop the damage before it starts. We all need news. It is how we obtain knowledge of our cities, our states, our countries, and the world. I have watched friends and family spread fake news like wildfire, and fact checking each and every post is exhaustive and impossible. Today I'm going to discuss the definition of fake news and give a few examples. I will explain how fake news spreads and what you can do about it. And finally, what happens when it is left unchecked. While the term fake news has a rather straightforward definition, the examples vary greatly. Fake news has been around a lot longer than you may think, and with the internet, it spreads further, faster. According to Cambridge Dictionary, fake news are false stories, which appear to be news, spread via social media or the internet, and they are usually to influence others or for humor. The term fake news was first documented in the 1890s, according to the Center for Information Technology and Society. Fake news and digital ambient racism. Social scientist Eugenia Sapir defines digital ambient racism as racially toxic online posts from ordinary people which have become so commonplace they no longer shock, according to CNN.com. I will share 3 examples of fake news which will show the range of ramifications of fake news, but that also it doesn't always come from a news source. Chipotle manager and digital ambient racism, Dominique Moran, was a manager for Chipotle whose whole world was turned upside down by one post. She was accused of being racist. And as much as it took that one post to just obliterate her world, it also took one post, one person to see that and think there has to be more to this story. We had Pizzagate, the shooting at Comet Ping Pong Pizzeria. Esquire reports Comet Ping Pong was the supposed headquarters of a child sex trafficking ring run by the owner of the pizzeria and Hillary Clinton. Edgar Madison Welch walked into the pizzeria armed with an assault rifle and opened fire. Luckily, no one was hurt, but when asked why he did it, he said he was there to self-investigate the reports of child sex trafficking. With the reach of social media, headlines do not always come from a news source, and it is time that we all participate in a more proactive approach as to how we share information. Now that I have shared with you the definition and some examples of fake news, I will share how the spread of fake news begins in your responsibility in the dissemination of news. How does fake news even start? How can we prevent it? Social media largely contributes to the spread of fake news. Chipotle manager Dominique Moran was turned into a villain overnight thanks to one tweet. CNN reports that one tweet was viewed at least 7 million times and shared 30,000 times in just 2 days. However, Twitter is not the only platform where there is fake news. According to Business Insider, the top 100 fake news stories on Facebook were shared over 150 million times. Then there is the tragic story of Colby Graham, who was falsely outed on Instagram as a murderer. He was accused of murdering Cameron Collier. Colby went to, not unbeknownst to him, Colby goes to Collier's balloon release memorial where he is shot and killed by Collier's brother in an act of revenge, all because of one Instagram post. How can you be a more reliable disseminator of news? Firstly, fact check. There are so many websites out there. Snopes, fact check, all sides, truth or fiction, and that's just a few. Be aware of your own confirmation bias. Simply Psychology defines confirmation bias as a tendency to give more weight to evidence that confirms our beliefs. NPR.org details several ways to improve your digital literacy. Review the quotes in an article or in a story. Academics, professors, those are our trustworthy sources. Read more than the headline of an article. If you can take the time to read the argument between 400 people on the article, you can take the time to read the article. Also, do a reverse image search. If the image you're looking at shows up in a plethora of other areas, chances are it's being used out of context. I have shared with you the ways in which fake news spreads and ways you can be more responsible. Now I'll share what happens when fake news is left uncontested. To do nothing to prevent the spread of fake news is completely careless. Threats, violence, death are very real consequences of fake news going unchecked. Additionally, fake news can be harmful to your physical health. Following the medical advice of some post without seeking actual medical advice from a professional can be deadly. Fake news can be damaging to your mental health as you mistrust almost everything you read, see, and hear. Today I discuss the definitions and dangers of fake news, what we can do about it, and the ramifications if we do nothing to stop it. If you want to do something, educate yourself with all the fact-checking websites that are out there and available at your fingertips. I diligently fact-check things that even just for a moment, I think, I wonder if this is true. I take the time and I read. So when in doubt, research. It is not that difficult. And by the way, the Pope really did marry that couple at 30,000 feet, according to the BBC.